Hey guys! Today I'm going to teach you some of the basics of Sketch. Sketch is a UX, UI, user experience, user interface, design application for macOS, Apple's desktop and laptop operating system. It's a popular application that is used to create user interfaces for the web, Apple and Android devices, and other documents. Sketch is a powerful tool that is used by industry professionals to create, prototype, and collaborate with other designers, developers, and stakeholders in a single shared workspace. By the end of this video, you will have learned the following: Sketch's intuitive interface, how to create elements of a wireframe, how to create and preview a prototype. Before we get started, I want to note that the appearance of my Sketch may look different from yours since I have my MacBook's appearance set to dark mode. Let's begin by opening Sketch. The first screen you will see is the document screen, as we see here. This screen will show us recent projects that have been saved. There is a section dedicated to templates, Sketch Cloud, and links that contain further information about Sketch. Your screen is going to look different than mine. You can see that I'm working on a few projects right now. For the purpose of this video, let's double-click New Document. And here we are, our workspace. Let's take a look at Sketch's interface. Up top, we see the toolbar. What's awesome about this toolbar is that it is customizable. Whatever functions you use the most can be placed here for ease of access, making us that much more efficient and productive. My toolbar is going to look different from yours right now, as I have customized mine. On the left side, we have the layers list. This section is going to be the home for any page or layer that we create within the document. On the right, we have the inspector panel. This panel is going to display various customization options for interface elements that we will create. Finally, this dark, or light, space we see here is the canvas. This is where we will see our work. And that's just a quick overview of Sketch's interface. Now that we are acquainted with our workspace, let's start working on our wireframe. A wireframe is an image or set of images which display the functional elements of a website or page. In this example, we will be creating a wireframe of an iPhone application. Let's start by creating an artboard. The artboard is going to hold various interface elements like shapes and text. Press the A key on your keyboard or on the toolbar, click Insert and then Artboard. The inspector panel changes to show us various Apple devices and their respective dimensions. We are going to create a wireframe the size of an iPhone 11 Pro screen. Click iPhone 11 Pro. The artboard is created and is now on our canvas. Awesome! You can see in the layers list that the artboard has its own layer. Let's rename that now. To rename a layer, simply right-click the layer in the layers list and click Rename Layer, or you can click the layer to select it and push the Command and R keys on your keyboard simultaneously. I opt to use the latter because it is more efficient for me as it speeds up my workflow. Let's now rename it to Main Page. Nice. Renaming layers is great because it helps us to get organized. Down the line, when you're working on your own project, you don't want 100 layers that aren't named. Moving on. So now that we have our artboard, let's add some elements to it. We will start by adding a simple shape. Let's create a rectangle. To do this, you can press the R key on your keyboard, or we can go up here to Insert, click that, and mouse over Shape. You see that we have several options here to choose from, but let's go with the rectangle. You'll see that your cursor changes to a crosshair with a square next to it. To create a rectangle, simply click on the canvas and drag your mouse. With the dimensions visible as you create, let's try to make it 200 by 200. If you can't get it perfect, don't worry. You can edit the properties of the rectangle in the inspector panel. At the top of the inspector panel, you can see the X and Y coordinates of our shape and also its width and height in pixels. Let's change the width and height to 200 by 200. Great. So now we have our shape. Let's put it in the absolute center. To do that, simply click it and drag it to the center. Snap guides will appear to guide you. You'll know it's in the center when you see both X and Y snap guides appear. Great. Let's look at the inspector panel closer. You can see we have a number of options here. Down in the Style section, we can see that we have a fill color of gray. Let's change this up. Click on the box that is displaying the color. Here we see the color picker pop up. We can change the color here by playing with some settings. We can even make a gradient. You can also fill the shape with an image. Let's do that. Right here, where you see this checkerboard pattern, if you mouse over it, you get text that reads, choose image. We're going to click on that. I love cats, so I went and I found an image online of a cute cat tucked into bed. Feel free to use any image you'd like. I'm going to select that now by double-clicking it. Once we do that, we see that it fills the shape we made. You see that we also have some options as far as how the image fills the shape. We're going to stick with fill image. Let's also not forget to rename our rectangle. Let's call it image. Great. So now we have a picture filling our shape. Let's create some text to go along with that. To create text, simply press T on your keyboard, or we can go back up into Insert and click Text. Just another quick note. It's so helpful to memorize these shortcuts so you can save time. Alright, so we know that we're in text mode because our cursor changes. You can click and drag to create a text box, or simply click on the canvas to start typing. Let's type my photo. When you're done typing, click outside of the text area to finalize your edit. Let's also move that to the center, right under the photo. Perfect. For the purpose of the next part of the video, we're going to create additional text. Create additional text that reads Next Artboard. Place this in the bottom part of the artboard in the center. You should see a Y coordinate snap guide to let you know it's centered. Let's organize this artboard's layers as well. I like to rearrange them top down, so since my image is the first element from the top, I will click and drag this layer to the top of the list. Next, it's going to be my photo text layer, and lastly, the next artboard layer. Boom! Organized. The next thing we're going to do is create a symbol. Symbols are so helpful. They are elements that you plan to reuse throughout your project. Symbols make it so that you don't have to create the same element over and over again. We're going to make a symbol out of our picture and its caption text. To do this, we have to select both elements at the same time. We can do this by holding the Command key on the keyboard while clicking and dragging the mouse to outline these two elements. You can also achieve the same result by holding the Command key and clicking on both of the layers in the layers list. Now that they are both selected, let's push the button on the toolbar that says Create Symbol. If you don't see that option, you can go up to the menu bar and click Layer and then Create Symbol. You'll see a pop-up window come up. Let's name this symbol Photo Cap. We will make sure that this box is checked so that our symbol gets sent to its own symbols page. Next, we can click OK or press the return key on the keyboard to finalize the symbol. Here in the layers list, you can see that the symbols page was created. Let's go there now. On the canvas, we can see our symbol. In the layers list, we see both the shape and text layer. If we rename our layers here, it will help us to be more efficient in the long run. For right now, let's rename the text layer Caption. Notice that when you rename the layer here, it does not change the text. You're simply renaming the element. And that concludes this section of building a wireframe. It may not look like much, as I am just teaching you the basics of Sketch, but continue playing with shapes and text, and soon you will have created an amazing UI. Let's navigate back to our main page entitled Page 1. Now we want to create a second artboard, the size of an iPhone 11 Pro. This is going to be used for our prototype. A prototype is an interactive wireframe that mimics what an app will look and feel like when it's all done. Let's name this one Next Page. Let's get to organizing again. As far as the canvas goes, I like to organize from left to right. Let's move Next Page under Main Page. Great. Now let's add our symbol to this page. To add the symbol we just created, let's go up to the toolbar and click Symbols, then mouse over Document and click Photo Cap. Or if you don't see this button in the toolbar, go up to the menu bar and click Insert, find the Symbol section, and mouse over Document, and then click Photo Cap. Let's place our sleepy kitty here in the center. Next, let's create another text layer that says previous artboard. Go ahead and put that at the bottom, centered. Now what we're going to do is make our wireframe come to life by adding hotspots. Hotspots allow you to draw a tap target over any part of your design and link into an artboard. You might see where I'm going with this already. Let's get to creating these hotspots. To create a hotspot, press the H key on your keyboard or go up to the toolbar and click Insert and then click Hotspot. You will see your cursor change. To add the hotspot, simply click on an element on your artboard. Great. What we're going to do is click on the text layer, Next Artboard. When we click on the text, it highlights the text area in orange. And when we move our cursor around, we see a line with an arrow stemming from the text. Sketch is waiting for us to give it a target. Let's click on the second artboard. And there we go. We see that the arrow is fixed on artboard 2 now. When tapped, this text will take us to artboard 2. Let's now do the same for the text on artboard 2 and link that text back to our first artboard. And we're done with prototyping. It's really that easy. Finally, let's finish by previewing what we have so far. Here on the toolbar, we see the preview button. Let's click that. A pop-up window will come up and will display the artboard which was last worked on. Let's click our hotspot. Pretty cool how it links back to our first artboard, and clicking the hotspot on the first artboard links to the second. Like I said before, these are just the basics. You now know your way around Sketch's interface, how to create elements of a wireframe, and how to prototype. Please continue to experiment and create on your own. Let your imagination and creativity run wild. That was it for this video. For more information about Sketch, visit sketch.com/docs, or you can watch the LinkedIn Learning course titled Sketch for UX Design by Shauna Bybee. There are many more resources out there. Just search the web for them. Thank you all for your time and watching my video. Goodbye.